Hey there, Kenny Recaps here. Today I'm breaking down a thrilling mystery Japanese drama called Pending Train. Spoilers ahead, so buckle up, stay sharp, and let's dive in.
Japan, 2023. People board a train on their way to work. Everyone's absorbed in their own world, scrolling through Instagram, chatting on social media, making evening plans, completely unaware that their lives are about to change forever. Suddenly, the train picks up speed and strange things begin to happen. A bottle cap rolling on the floor mysteriously vanishes. Passengers receive emergency alerts about a massive earthquake. The train then enters a dark tunnel and comes to an abrupt stop. As people slowly regain consciousness, confused and shaken, one passenger opens the doors. Chaos erupts as everyone pushes and screams, jumping out from the high steps. But what they see outside leaves them stunned. No sign of the modern world remains. Instead, they're surrounded by the ruins of a city overtaken by trees and grass. All the train cars have vanished without a trace, except for the fifth one they were in. As time passes, the group begins talking. One of them, Yuto, a firefighter, tends to the injured and suggests checking out the tunnel. He's joined by Sei, a young woman, and Naoya, a guy who also wants answers. Back in the city, police are baffled. The last two train cars have disappeared, but the rest of the train and its passengers are intact. The three head into the tunnel, walking through the pitch-black underground for what feels like forever. Suddenly, they spot a light and rush toward it, only to find themselves in a lifeless desert, no trace of the 2023 world in sight. Shocked, they return to the others. At first, no one believes their story, until Sei shows video proof. 7 hours go by and the group waits anxiously for help. Then, Rina, one of the girls, secretly checks Naoya's bag and finds a letter sealed by the criminal department, sparking suspicion that he's a convict. Later, Rina steals food from Sei's bag, but throws it away when she thinks she's been caught. Naoya finds the package and takes it to the train. Just then, Sei notices her food is missing and sees it in Naoya's hands. Everyone accuses him of stealing. Rina also brings up the letter from the colony. Hurt, Naoya denies everything and says he's leaving. At that moment, Yuto offers fruit from a box and begins sharing with everyone. While Sei passes it around, one of the guys replays the earlier video, clearly showing Rina stealing the food. Realizing Naoya's innocent, Yuto and Sei chase after him and save him just before he falls into a deep ditch. Grateful, he admits he's a 30-year-old hairstylist, but refuses to explain the letter. Night falls. People try to sleep, but many lie awake, fearful of what lies ahead. By morning, some start to accept that they may never get back home. Yuto tries to gather those who've wandered off, but a friend tells him not to carry the weight of others' lives. Yuto then confesses that one of his colleagues got injured because of him and lost the ability to walk. Now he feels it's his duty to help anyone he can. They track down the others and convince them to come back so they can survive together. Watching this, Naoya thinks of his brother who went to prison. The letter in his bag was from him. He'd been left to raise his younger brother and still feels responsible for how things turned out. Meanwhile, a few passengers explore the area and come across the ruins of a tall tower. Odd, since the news had said its construction would finish in 2026. One of them finds a can in the woods with that same year stamped on it. A biologist in the group also identifies a plant that would take 30 years to genetically modify. They realize they've somehow landed far into Earth's future, and it's not a happy discovery. Back in 2023, every news channel is reporting the disappearance of 2 train cars carrying over 100 passengers. As night falls, many begin to lose hope. Sei and Yuto set plastic containers on top of the train car in case it rains. Come morning, the biologist points out the thick greenery, which likely means a water source is nearby. A few young people go off to explore the forest. Along the way, Naoya admits that his parents were criminals. Suddenly, he spots a frog, proof that water must be close. But they hit sheer cliffs that require ropes to climb. They go back to the train, grab some wire, and return to the cliffs. Yuto climbs to the top and cheers when he sees a waterfall, then freezes. In place of Mount Fuji, there's a massive ocean. He goes back to report what he saw, and everyone starts guessing what happened to the planet. That night, they all try to sleep. The oldest passenger, Yaichi, steps outside and sees someone unfamiliar. When he tells the others, no one believes him. Rain finally starts falling, allowing them to collect water and even bake a bit. The biologist keeps studying the plants, finding a few that are safe to eat and showing them to the group. But Sei accidentally eats a toxic berry. Thankfully, it's not lethal. Her recovery wakes people up. They realize they won't make it if they stay idle. Everyone starts pitching in. They even make utensils from bamboo and find that bank cards make good knives. The young group brings water from the waterfall, and they cook soup using the local plants. After dinner, several people feel sick. The biologist discovers 2 toxic berries in the pot. Someone remembers seeing Yaichi near the pot, but now he's gone. Yuto searches for him but trips and loses his flashlight. He returns without Yaichi, but brings back Naoya's lost barber tools, which he had really missed. The next day, the biologist announces he's going to search for a nearby river. Some friends join him, but in the forest, they run into a stranger who stabs the biologist and runs off. They carry him back to the train, where luckily a medical student treats his injuries. Everyone helps however they can and prays for him. Later, Yaichi suddenly comes back. Turns out he used to work for a security company and knows how to set traps around camp. Rina asks Naoya to fix her hair, and soon he's got a line of people waiting. Meanwhile, Yuto and Sei spot a teen boy caught in a trap, but he escapes and runs. They chase him and end up at a river. The teen tells them to wait and vanishes into the woods. Naoya notices their absence and catches up. The teen returns and leads them to Carriage 6, which somehow ended up miles away from theirs. The people from Carriage 6 welcome them. Their leader, Yamamoto, explains that their car landed near the river, so they had plenty of water and fish. They also had a builder who helped set up a camp with a kitchen and even a bathroom. The newcomer group spots the man who injured their biologist. He admits he acted out of fear and thought they were a threat. Bowing deeply, he apologizes. Yamamoto believes going back in time might still be possible. He explains that in the early days, they found a small boat on the river. Someone managed to fix its radio and picked up a signal, possibly from Canada, where the year 2060 was mentioned. From what was heard, a disaster happened in 2026. An enormous asteroid struck Earth, triggering massive quakes and tsunamis that killed billions. Dust blocked out the sun, wiping out most life. But the asteroid didn't fall by chance. It was caused by space debris. As more and more people launched satellites, one probe collided with a satellite that crashed into the asteroid, knocking it off course. It was a human-made disaster. That's why going back to their original time is so crucial. They might still have a chance to stop it. Motivated by the example set by Carriage 6, the passengers decided to build a bath near the river. Meanwhile, Yaichi's condition keeps getting worse. He even makes a doll out of twigs and starts talking to it. By morning, the bath is ready. For the first time in days, people bathe in hot water and wash their clothes. The group also finds a strange rock by the riverbank, and when Yamamoto hears about it, he sends his people to locate it. But Rina spots strangers nearby, and one guy accidentally reveals that their leader believes the stone might help them return home. The girls argue over whether they should go back, and Rina shoves Sei, who falls and dislodges some soil, revealing a corpse underneath. At the same time, Yaichi finds a newspaper article about a wanted killer, and the description matches him. Meanwhile, Reina and Sei are attacked by men from Carriage 6. Rina manages to escape and run back to her own carriage to tell everyone about the body, while Sei flees through the woods. Carriage 5 decides to arm themselves. Yuto and Naoya rush to the neighbors, but Sei isn't there. She ends up at the boat. Yamamoto is forced to admit that he killed a man who went berserk and started attacking others with a knife. That's how he ended up becoming the group's leader. The guys return home hoping Sei's back, but she's still missing. The rest insist they go to Carriage 6 and confront the attackers, so the guys go looking for Sei again. Sei hides in the boat when Yamamoto walks in. He pretends to radio someone, but Sei notices the wires are cut. When he finds her, he admits he doesn't want to go back in time because he plans to build a new society here. He then ties her up and locks her in the cabin, where no one can hear her scream. In the morning, the passengers from Carriage 5 are about to raid their neighbors when one woman suggests finding a building where they can seek shelter instead. Meanwhile, guys from Carriage 6 sneak into the neighbors' camp to scavenge supplies but fall into traps. A fight breaks out. Reinforcements from Carriage 6 show up, they have more men, and the scuffle turns into an all-out brawl. It finally stops when Sei escapes and shows up, accusing Yamamoto of lying. He's forced to confess but says he just wanted to keep morale high. Still, the group votes to exile him. Before he leaves, Yamamoto hands over a ship's journal with notes about a tower that might help them get back. Meanwhile, the group searching for shelter reaches the tower and finds glowing asteroid fragments there. Back in 2023, scientist Ray reviews surveillance footage and discovers that a wormhole appeared in the tunnel at the moment the two carriages vanished. It seems to have been caused by a rift in the space-time continuum. The passengers study the journal Yamamoto left and find the exact date of the disaster. They also have an asteroid fragment with an incredible magnetic charge. One of them remembers seeing something like a falling star on the day they departed. In the past, Ray analyzes the same sighting and determines it was the light from a supernova. In the future, an expert explains that a supernova is what happens when a star reaches the end of its life and explodes, releasing massive energy. That seems to have caused the time rift that swallowed both carriages. Now, they must figure out how to reopen the wormhole. That evening, a powerful storm hits, forcing everyone to find sturdier shelter than the carriage. Yaichi opens the back doors that lead into the tunnel. Suddenly, a strong gust of wind pulls his doll out of his hands and sucks it into the wormhole created by the hurricane. But once the storm ends, the wormhole vanishes. In 2023, scientists discover Yaichi's doll. The passengers in the future realize they'll need a major energy source to trigger the wormhole again, so they begin searching for old power lines, digging up every pole. Eventually, they come across an electrical substation where some of the equipment still works. They manage to redirect enough electricity into the tunnel to stabilize the wormhole for the next storm, which should be strong enough to take them back in time. That night, as the storm picks up, the wormhole opens with the help of the substation's power. Everyone gets into the carriage, except Yaichi, who decides not to return. The carriage is pulled into the wormhole, flying through space and time, until its doors are opened by security officers. They announce that it's May 1st, 2026, which means there are only a few months left before the asteroid is expected to hit. After completing quarantine, the passengers tell officials what happened, presenting meteorite fragments and strange plants from the future as proof, but the authorities don't believe their story about an approaching apocalypse. Later, the internet explodes with news of the event. The time travelers gain supporters, keeping public attention on the story. Meanwhile, scientist Ray becomes convinced they're telling the truth. He's been tracking the asteroid, too. One of the passengers posts a public message online, warning ordinary people about what's coming. Another passenger, who once held a high government role, reaches the Minister of Defense. The minister listens to her former colleague and confirms that the government believes them and is already preparing to launch a missile to redirect the asteroid's path. As the day of the disaster approaches, the travelers reunite on the platform, unsure if they've succeeded, ready to face the end together if not. But the military completes its mission and changes the asteroid's course, saving humanity from complete destruction. It's an unusual series that blends different theories about the end of the world, and the ending delivers a strong message. Life on Earth depends on the actions of every individual, and the planet's future is a shared human responsibility. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.